like how to bring it back,
Yeah.
back into momentum. But it's just like, yes, it's still something that I want to do, but I had other things, like, I was just sharing just a bit about a life, like, how I've always shared things. So I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna wait it out until, like you said, the when the spark is there."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not waiting till the spark is there. I know that I still have to, like, push it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a couple of things on that too, and for those I just
Mm.
hit record, so for those
Yeah.
joining the replay, just for context of this conversation, what we were just speaking about, Kerry and I were speaking about an experience that she just recently had, and my advice was really sitting with these experiences. So it's not something that you share when you're in like the mess of it and it's all very like happening in real time. Like I always say to try and avoid sharing in real time when things like big things are happening in life or business or both, whatever it might be. You want to share from an embodied wisdom place versus like when you're actually deep in it. Because I feel like sometimes you share from a very emotional place and it's almost just like a dear diary share versus an actual embodied wisdom. This is what I went through and this is what I learned from it, so I can help you. So you're really establishing your authority as somebody who can actually guide somebody who might be a few steps behind you. You can guide them through these similar experiences because you have the embodied wisdom and the embodied experience yourself. So that was the context of the conversation. But just with what you were just saying, Kerry, I think also it's a really good idea to remember that people don't know if something is happening in real time either. So, like with the podcast, for example, like you can go and share anything from the podcast at any time. And even though you know the timeline, like you had the intention to share off the back of the podcast, you had the intention to share the podcast itself. If you were to go and do that next week or even in a month or 3 months, like nobody needs to know the timeline of when that actually happened.
Mm.
Just because it's already happened and you haven't shared it yet, it doesn't make the experience irrelevant.
Mm.
So just
Mm.
remember that because I think sometimes we get caught in this like cycle or this loop of thinking because social media moves so quickly, we think that we have to keep up in real time and share
Mm.
everything in real time or it's no longer relevant because it happened a month ago. It's like
Oh, yep.
nobody knows that.
Mm. Mm.
Like
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
share something from a year ago and you could be like, this happened to me, or this was my experience, or this is
Mm.
what I learned, or whatever.
Mm.
Timeline is actually completely irrelevant.
Mm. Okay.
Just remember
Yep.
that as well. Like just because it's happened and you haven't shared it yet, sit with how you want to share it. And then once you know, because I always believe that we will know when these
Mm.
things feel really big and we're like, I don't even know how I want to articulate this. Like sit with it, create some space and create some quiet for you to actually hear your inner wisdom speaking and
Mm.
just share it as if it literally just happened and nobody will be
Mm.
any wiser. Like it actually doesn't matter when it happened.
Mm. Okay. Yep. Mm. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have to jump on and be like, oh, I wanted to share this, but I've been offline because I've been dealing with all this
Mm.
stuff and it was a month ago, but it still feels really good for me to share it. Like, nobody needs to know
No.
any of that. Like, literally
Yeah.
just go straight into
No
the
one
value of
asked.
what you were always going to, yeah,
Yeah.
literally. It's like, we know,
Yeah, yeah.
we know all these details and we think
Mm.
they matter, but they honestly just don't.
No, yeah.
They really don't. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I say this from a place of like, I used to do this.
Mm.
I
Mm.
always say, like, when we take time off, like, if we've taken intentional time offline
Mm.
and then we jump back online and we just pick up where we left off, we
Mm.
don't need to return, sorry, announce our return.
Mm. Yeah.
Unless there's been something really big that has gone down and you're sharing it again from a place of embodied wisdom of like, or also helping people to actually connect with you and your story. Like the only time I've ever done this is when I took, I don't know, I had the intention to take like a long weekend offline.
Mm.
And it turned into like, I think 3 or 4 weeks.
Mm.
And I shared that from the lens of I kept listening to what I actually needed. So even though
Mm.
my intention was the weekend, I didn't announce I was going offline for a long weekend.
Yeah.
Like I just went offline.
Mm.
I just went and lived my life.
Mm.
And I didn't make any kind of announcement of like, okay, guys, I'm going to be offline for a few weeks. Like I just stayed offline and lived my life. And when I was
Mm.
ready to come back, I came back and I told the story of my intention was to be offline for a few days, but this is what's been happening in life and business. And this is why I chose to take more time because I kept listening. So the
Mm.
lesson was keep listening. Because that's
mm,
also what, in terms of my values, that's what I teach women. So that's
mm,
how you make it relevant to your business, or like
yeah.
your personal values and how you support women. Does that make
Mm,
sense?
yeah, the lessons out of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
100%. And it's
yeah.
not just like, I'm going
The
offline, I had
downside.
time offline, and
Yeah.
my weekend was amazing. It's like, okay, cool. Like, we're all busy.
Yeah. Life is busy. Things happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going
Yeah.
to share, and this goes for anyone, but when
Mm,
sharing these types of experiences or milestones or
mm,
like whatever we're going through, always think about how can I make this relevant to my brand, relevant to my
mm,
business, and share the wisdom or the lesson or the learning, whatever it might
mm,
be, um, that you got out of that experience
mm. Yeah.
versus just telling the story because you think people care.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
that is
am.
that's what I would say on that.
That. Yeah.
Way too welcome. So good to see you. I feel like it's been a hot minute. You went on last week, were you? I missed you.
And I missed you too. I feel now that you are relating how we talk about experiences and why we don't necessarily come on when like when we've been away. And I always feel like I feel like if I don't have anything I want to say, then I don't want to be in the environment or in the, in the container. But I also think that, this is my power base. I feel like this is my power base. And I feel like when I don't come in here, I'm losing something. I'm not learning anything. I just feel like I'm losing something. So thank you, Tiff. Thank you for the recognition. And yeah,
My
very
pleasure. Good to
excited.
have you back. And
Yeah.
also remember that even if you, like, I always say, yes, come to these calls with intention, like, come with questions, whatever that you need support with. But also come even if you don't know what you need help with. If you're like, I have no idea where to start, or like, I have all these things on my mind, can you help me break it down? Or I'm feeling really overwhelmed, or whatever. It's like, that's also what these spaces are for. If we had all the answers, like, you wouldn't have paid to be in the space because, like, you'd be out there killing it and doing your thing regardless, that you wouldn't even need me. Right?
Right.
That's why we pay to be in spaces, because we don't know everything and we
Yeah,
don't
and
have
the
all
money.
the answers. I mean, I'm always in some kind of space that serves me based on what I'm like actively working on at the time. Like I've been working with my coach for just on 12 months now. And I same thing, I show up every single week, even if I don't have a question, because I think of things when I'm inspired by the conversation on the calls. And I continue to invest in myself because I don't have all the answers. And I never will. And none of us ever will. So please remember that.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Yeah, I will remember that going forward. And I just want to come on and share because I opened last week's replay this morning. And Kerry, thank you for all your amazing questions and responses to Tiff's questions. Tiff has this ability. Sorry, Tiff, I'm going to talk about you, not behind your back. To open you up and make you look deeper than this is personal experience. Because when I was listening to the replay this morning, there were two things that came up for me that I felt like I needed to go back to. One of them was, why did I choose Energic? And I've just gone through this, I don't know, 1 hour of looking at why did I choose Energic to go in this business, which then has prompted me to pull up one of my old posts and post it onto Instagram before I came onto the call this morning. So it just, it's kind of snowballed into a few things. So I felt like that was really, I took a lot out of the conversation that you were both having from last week's replay. I think the second part of that is to also go back and have a really good look at why I'm doing this. The big picture is the three words that really got me going, Tiff, the big picture. What's the big picture? So, that's where I'm at the moment. What I'm really excited about, and if you can't see that, well then I'm just excited, I'll tell you, is because it just gave me I wasn't looking for anything particular, but I just got some momentum out of hearing you both discuss two really important topics, I think.
Thank you for sharing. I'd love to hear that I have a way of opening you up.
You do. An opener.
It's all in the energy. Like energy just doesn't lie. And if you can make people feel really seen, heard, and understood, and I'm going to relate this back to the things that I teach all of you as well. I'm receiving the compliment. It's beautiful for me to hear. And I also want to share with you when I say that in your content and in your messaging, your goal is to actually help women feel seen, heard, and understood. It's exactly what I do with you all the time.
Yeah.
I encourage you to use your voice. I encourage you to look at what you actually need. I encourage you to go deeper. I encourage you to think about things that you really truly want. And I encourage you to look at the places that you're going through by default versus like actual deep desire of what you want for your life. Like it's all of these things. And it's the same way that you speak to your dream clients in your content. So it's probably a lot closer than you even realize. Because if you can make women feel seen, heard, and understood, it means they feel safe. And when they feel safe, they trust you. And when they trust you, ultimately, they'll want to work with you. They'll want to buy from you. They'll basically buy anything that you sell. And it doesn't come from a place of ick, because remember, intention matters. But when you're ultimately selling a product or service, it's an exchange of energy. And the money simply represents that energy. So when we work on our energy, we make people feel safe.
Right.
All the things.
Yeah.
The work we do is never wasted, like ever, ever, ever. Like the breath work, the time to ourselves, the sound healing, the somatic work, the dancing, whatever it is. It's never wasted. So I hope to remind each of you of that, because I know, for example, when we had Rosie on, everyone was like, oh my God, that was so amazing. A lot of you really needed that space holding. And it's also something that obviously, one, you can go back and do literally any time because the replay is there. And I cut the replay so it's just the experience. So you can literally just dive straight into the experience. And also, you can create those spaces for yourself. Like you can put music on and decide to start dancing whenever the fuck you want. You can go on YouTube and listen to a free breathwork and do a breathwork practice whenever. All these modalities, like we are in such a privileged generation that we have access to so much, so many free resources at the literal tip of our fingertips that we can just like look up and do and experience straight away. Like we get to actually leverage all of the things that we have available to us, because this is the stuff that helps us. Even when we feel stuck, like when we feel energetically stuck, a lot of the time we actually just have to move physically to be able to get to a point where we're shifting the energy. And then we're like, oh, I actually feel so much better. The last thing I felt like doing was working out or going for a walk or doing Pilates or whatever it was like, oh, I feel so much better. Like who's ever felt worse after a workout? Maybe tired, maybe tired, but not like mood and energy wise, surely. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
How shall we maximize our time today together so that I can be of service to you? What's happening in your world, brand, business, life, all the things that you need?
Oh, Tiff, I want to talk to, can I go first? Kerry, do you mind? I need to speak up.
She's like bursting at the gate. She's like, let me in.
It's killing myself. Well, I wasn't killing myself, but I was very focused on, you can advise me here because I feel like my energy in Canva, I'm talking about Canva. I struggle with it. I find it difficult. I find it cumbersome, and it's like a beast, but I really want to conquer it. And I think that one bite at a time is probably the best approach. I like to have a whole meal rather than have one bite at a time. So now why was I in Canva? Oh yes, templates. I was doing some templates, which I achieved a template. I've got my own little sussy template. But yesterday I wanted to do something else in Canva, but I didn't have the template, so I get myself confused. Tiff, I'm just going to unload this. I don't want you to do anything about it, or possibly I would ask you to a few questions about it. So I spent a lot of time, and I found it difficult. I found it frustrating as well. I think frustrating with myself because I feel like my energy, I don't know when to stop. I don't know when to like cut it off and stop doing it. I just feel like it's a mountain I want to climb, and I want to climb it until I get to the top, rather than just starting at base camp and going on the first level and that kind of thing. I'm just getting myself into real binds about it, and I feel that maybe the reason that I gravitate to Canva so much at this point is because I'm spending all my posting is going into Instagram. I'm not using any of the other platforms at the moment at all, which is why I want this looking at Canva and seeing and trying to use it, maximize it. Although I could probably just post straight into Instagram and get the same effect, I still find it takes too long. Yeah. That's my
What's your version of takes
grind. Oh my God. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be aesthetic pleasing. The lines are going to be in the right place. The text is going to be the size, and if I'm using more than one text, which I try not to do, font, which I try not to do because it's just, I'm looking at it, I get very critical about what it looks like, and it's just help me let go, Tiff. Help me to just leave it on the screen and let it go.
Well, you probably won't want to hear this, but it's got nothing to do with Canva.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing to do with Canva. It's just like this just happens to be the tool that's bringing this out in us, dare I say, activating something in us that's a little bit triggering.
Okay.
It's making us realize and see the different shadows that we have. So it's not about Canva is the first thing. This is just the thing that's like bringing it to the surface and making it feel very alive and very active for us. So what I would first say is, where else is this playing out in your life? Like, where else is this like potential like perfectionism, have to get it right, couldn't, like, if I get it wrong, it'll simply kill me. Like, where is this actually coming from?
I recognized that this morning. It's not just in Canva, it's everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah. It's it's me. It's who I am most of the time, is just holding on to the thing or something, or not being able to just say this is who I am and it's okay. It's rather like, I'm on this platform right now, but I want to be up there, and that's what I want to show rather than what's down here.
So there's two things. The first thing is actually ego. And
Okay.
yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's okay. Like, it is. Let's just name it.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing. Okay. You're not broken.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need fixing. But there's definitely ego at play here. And the reason I say this is I remember, even for myself, when I was transitioning from corporate, I was in the top 2% of the performance ranking. I was in a senior role. I was the type of person that everybody came to for the answer, and I always had the answer for that particular role, right? Or it was my responsibility to find the answer if I didn't. It was so hard to release that title, that standard of excellence that I held, to then be a student in this industry and inside my business. And what was at play there was simply ego, of not wanting myself to be seen as a beginner, to be seen as trying, to be seen as not actually knowing what I'm doing, to be seen as starting again. It's so uncomfortable. And you're literally like, your body is like contracting right now.
Yeah.
Right? So when I say it's ego, it's not a bad thing. We just get to be aware of it. We all have ego. It's not going anywhere. It's ego is like demonized. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but we get to be aware of it so we can understand exactly what's at play here. So that's the first thing. What I would say is potentially beneath that, which I can't put, I guess, words into your experience or words into your mouth, is something you get to sit with. But what could potentially be beneath that is actually just fear. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen if you actually got it right? Like, God forbid you actually get what you want. What's the worst thing that can happen?
I'll be doing this. It's the worst thing.
Right?
Really insightful that you should say that, because I listened to, or I heard, I was watching a post. Oh, it was Viola Davis, and she was talking about this very thing that you are talking about. She says the thing that's holding us back is not wanting, not getting to the other side of fear. So here you are again, and it's coming forward. Okay, carry on, please.
Yeah, because it's the same thing as like ego is like how it's being played out, but the actual emotion beneath the ego is ultimately fear. Because it's like, again, if I'm seen trying, what are people going to think? If I actually give this everything I've got and it doesn't work, well, then what? Or whatever the story is. But like, we all experience the same thoughts and feelings. That's the thing. They're just in our own version. But I can't even tell you how many times I have been fucking terrified of the things that I say I actually want. And I see this in every single woman I have ever worked with. And it still comes up within me. But you just get better at responding to it. And you become more courageous and you choose to do it anyway. So even when I speak about this all the time of like, move anyway. If you were to decide, okay, I'm really going to put myself out there in my business because I deserve to get what I say that I want for myself, and that might mean in tangible form, it's like, okay, I'm going to do a webinar for my business. I'm actually going to do the webinar. And then maybe as a result of that, you're absolutely terrified that you're going to put all this time and energy into creating something that nobody registers for. And you're going to be on the Zoom room and nobody jumps on. Terrifying. To the point of quite often debilitating. So we just don't do it. That's what we're protecting ourselves from happening because we're scared. And that's very normal. Everything that we do, whether conscious or unconscious, is from a place of self-protection because that is simply how our brains are hardwired. So we get to choose to move anyway. We get to choose to acknowledge what's there. And we just get to keep working.
It sounds so simple.
Because it is simple, but we love to overcomplicate everything. And it's just like we love to make things feel so much harder than they actually are, or things feel so big and so deep and so painful and just so hard. And that's legitimate. Like that's actually how it feels. And I'm never, ever, ever going to say disregard that. But you can either continue to respond to those emotions and those feelings and stay where you are and loop, or you can say, okay, I'm fucking terrified, but I'm moving anyway. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to do this anyway. And that's when you choose to actually trust yourself over trusting the emotion that's keeping you safe. Like, when have you actually made like such a terrible decision that you haven't recovered from?
Ever. Never.
Right? These are the games I play with myself sometimes. Like even for example, we're moving, for anyone who doesn't know, and we've basically been deciding between traveling or moving, and then we decided that we wanted to actually move, and my partner's going to have a career change, and then we want to buy a house, and then we're going to travel. That's our plan for the next like 5 years. So rather than doing it in the original order, we've changed the order that we're doing things because it feels like smarter to establish ourselves with, what we do have now for the long term, and then we can go and play and frolic around the country and have the best time ever. But I'm telling you this because only maybe a week and a half ago, I was having a literal micro breakdown because it felt so hard to try and find a home 9 hours away from here, sight unseen. And I was so terrified of picking the wrong home and moving to a place that I have been in terms of location, but my partner hasn't. And I was putting so much pressure on myself to get it right, to not fuck up the location. Oh my God, is he going to hate it? Am I going to pick a house and it's not what we want? Like all these things of like perfectionism. God forbid I'm seen trying. God forbid I actually really give a shit about my family and where we live. This is what I mean, where like it presents itself in everything that we do. It's not just a business problem. It is usually a personal problem. And I'll never forget, Beck Femia actually said that, is like, you don't have business problems, you have personal problems that are playing out in your business. And I've never forgotten that. I heard that years ago. And that's why I say, and I share these stories from a place of personal experience, because I don't want you to ever think that anybody has it all figured out. But we're over here trying, and we're giving it a red hot crack, and we're being courageous, and we're making the decisions, and we're trusting ourselves, and we're moving anyway. And that's when stuff starts to happen.
What did Beck say? Could you say it again?
She said, you don't have business problems, you have personal problems that are playing out in your business.
Okay.
Personal problems meaning like fear, limitations, imposter syndrome, like literally all of the things that we all have.
Canva.
Canva, yeah.
Never going to forget this. I'm never going to look at Canva the same way.
You're going to be like, God, look what you're bringing out in me. I don't like you anymore. My other question about Canva actually would be, why does Canva feel so important for you to use?
Oh, is that what it sounds like? I didn't know.
That's just the way I'm
yeah.
Doesn't mean it's right. It's a question. But if it is important to you to use, why is it important to use versus just using a photo of yourself or a video of yourself?
Oh, I can do those things as well. I guess it's one of those really good tools to be able to use. Like that's all it is. It's that's all it is.
Good. Okay. Amazing.
Well, that's all I think it is. I'm just gonna think about Canva before I use it again.
I'm asking the question not to by any means like shame you for learning. My God, that's why it's in the lessons for a reason. But my question's more so coming from a place of, why does this feel like it's important for me to learn right now, particularly if this is slowing me down or if it's stopping me from actually focusing on my goal, which is to show up more. So this is where we get to learn what's actually important.
Yeah.
Am I getting distracted?
Yeah, I know why. I know why now. I use ChatGPT a lot, and it usually gravitates, and then I'm usually asks, "Do you want to do a Canva thing?" And I'm going, "No, I don't want to." But sometimes I say yes. That's why it pops up. I've just realised how much I talk to chat for a whole lot of things, not just business things, but just things in general. And it's always the next point that it comes to. Would you like me to put that on a Canva? Blah blah. Or
no.
I'm
good, thank you.
Yeah, how many times I say no, not right now, or I think this is much better, or these are responses I get. But yeah, that's where it's coming from. Really,
I want to challenge you to put the tools down. Okay. And I'm saying Canva, I'm saying ChatGPT, because this is not a lesson or experience in skill set. it's actually a lesson in self-trust. Like if you trusted yourself to know the answer, to write the caption, to create the bloody graphic, if you trusted that you could do that, what do you think would happen?
I'd be able to do it.
All we're really doing when we're using ChatGPT is almost like reinforcing, I don't trust myself. I don't have the answer. I need help with everything in my life because I can't do it on my own. I'm not saying don't use chat ever, but again, I always say you need to have the skill set first to be able to leverage tools like this, or all we're doing is just reinforcing the fact that we don't actually know what we're doing. So we need to rely on this tool. It may not mean it's the best performing piece of content. It may not mean it's like so perfectly written, but that's probably the whole point. So we can learn what feels good for us and we can actually show ourselves, I trust myself. I've got this. I know what my dream client needs to hear from me. And then at some point we can pick Canva and chat back up.
Okay. Okay.
It might mean that we write less posts or whatever. I don't care, but I want to see something that has come from you in your heart, where you just say, you know what, I got this. I know I have the answer. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
How does that feel?
Yeah. Oh, nothing that you're saying to me now hasn't gone through my head.
Good. Yeah. Again, God forbid you trusted yourself. You already had the answer. You didn't need me.
Oh.
Use these calls as evidence that if you actually listened, and again, this is not coming from a place of like, listen every time, and I listen to myself all the time. Like, if I listened to myself all the time, I wouldn't have micro breakdowns like I do. But the lesson here is, oh my God, life would have been so much easier if I trusted myself, if I actually listened to my wisdom, if I actually followed through on the nudges. Like, life would just feel so much more simple. It's like, huh, eventually I get to go, okay, maybe I should do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's 11:11, which is perfect timing to reaffirm that you are always supported and you always have the answer.
Yes, I do. Okay.
I dare I say it would even challenge you to delete the chat app or however you use it. Just for the time being. It could literally be a few days, a week. Don't know. See what feels good.
Okay.
Just like actually sit with you, all of you, not like you and chat as like a constant duo.
Feels like that. It feels like that. I do a lot of checking in.
I
But
mean,
you're
it's
right.
helpful.
I don't. Yeah, it's helpful, but then it could become the crutch that, you know, it might even be one already. It might be my crutch, and then I write something, and what do you think? This is me. I'll write something. Now, what do you think? And then I get a refined version back. But then, so
but the thing is, as well, you need to remember that chat will continue to refine based on how you're responding.
Yeah.
And all that's doing is showing you not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not quite there yet, almost there. Okay, we got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if you didn't have chat, and again, I was writing content for 5 years without chat, and I did okay. I did fine, right? I built a successful business. It worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Posted plenty of content from my own brain, my own heart. So if we learn those skills first, they're foundational skills, and then chat can just make us 10x our productivity.
Right.
But it's coming from us. So we're not just like another, chat bot on Instagram, because it's becoming like a pretty boring place where you can just tell that like nothing is getting posted without going through chat first.
Yeah. Okay, Tiff. Amazing. Thank you. Brutal, but amazing.
I'm like, maybe I'm just so used to these conversations. Always said with love, because I want nothing but the best for you.
Yes, that's all I feel. So, yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Kerry, how's that all landing for you?
Oh, I feel like well, I came with the intention of like I do not have any questions. Like I shared about what happened to me, but then now with what more to have shared, I feel like I'm dealing with it in a different kind of form too. It's like me personal, like you said, we do not have a business problem. It's all personal stuff. So yeah, for me right now, as well, this was not something that I was going to ask, but it popped up when you guys were sharing with what Moetu was experiencing in her own world right now. For me, it's accepting the the freedom I have right now. I feel like it is came too soon for me in terms of me wanting to stay home, being more present, doing things online like this, doing things like this without being at work. I feel like right now, it's now when I think about it, it's all happening too soon for me, but it is something that I have wanted and always wanted. And uh with having a partner too was just so supportive in like ways of like when I tell him something he just agrees with it, but then I was like, "Mm, that's not something I'm looking like, you know, I wanted him to go against it some kind of way, but in a way like he just agrees with me. He's like, just go do it. What are you waiting for? But in terms like, you know, I have all this time and I'm still not fully accepting it kind of way. Yeah. So that's yeah, like and I have all this time that I can create and do things online, but it's just still like the accepting of the time that I have that I could create. But then in my head, I'm still playing like, no, I still have to go to work. Like, you know, because I now have a casual job. I don't even need to, my partner just like, he's already told me like, you know, you can just focus on this, like don't worry about, but I still have this thing of like accepting like, okay, he's got us. Like I don't need to worry about that side of like financially. I can fully focus on this now and do what I was wanting to do. But yeah. So yeah, that's something that has came up while you guys were sharing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Yeah.
So big. Thank you for sharing. That's so big. I feel like there's like so many women, particularly mums, would be able to relate to this. And one of the questions that came up to ask you was a couple of things, but do you hold a lot in terms of like your capacity of like what you do for other people? Like, are you quite often busy in terms of the time that you do have? Are you often busy doing things for other people?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe the fact that you actually have time for yourself, you like literally don't know what to do with it because you're like,
Yes, it's
what is
like
this boring to
yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Why do you maybe think that you don't deserve it?
I don't know. I feel like it's all happening too fast for me. And it feels like so like unreal. I don't know. Like now just speaking about it, I'm like, oh my God, I have this time now and I just now I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, it's something that I've always wanted. Like a year ago, I like because I was a single mom, like I would like just so thing about working like I'm thinking on my own, doing things on my own. I'm always like, you know, but now I have this now. I find it so hard to just accept it and really like it's something that I've wanted, but now I'm here, like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I heard that like so
Mm,
loud when
mm,
you were speaking initially. And I'm not
mm,
surprised. Like, I did know that you were a single mum, but to hear it was only 12 months ago, That is
Mm,
exactly what I mean when I say like you had to hold everything in
mm,
order to like keep a roof over your head, feed your baby, look after yourself. Like you had to wear all of the hats, right?
mm,
Now that you're 12 months later, you have a partner, you're supported, you don't have to work full time anymore, you
mm,
have your business, you're almost like, I don't deserve this. I don't know what to do with all this time. Give it to
mm.
somebody else. Like you're having a hard time actually receiving
Yeah.
the
Mm,
support,
mm.
dare I say, the love.
Yep, that is something I'm still struggling with to accept, even
Yeah.
though I have it.
Yeah. And you've
Yeah.
said that multiple times of like, oh,
Mm.
he's so supportive. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
like this is what
Mm,
I mean. Like
mm,
we're doing how we are in our business is just
mm,
a, a mirror and a reflection
mm,
of what's actually happening in our lives. So where we are
mm,
like, essentially wasting time really is we're actually self-sabotaging because you're like, I don't actually believe that I'm worthy of all this time
mm,
because
mm,
my story and my identity is that I hold everything and I
mm,
have to like control everything and like be across everything and be here, there, and everywhere. And I have to be in it all. And that's all I've got time for versus
mm,
like leaning back, receiving, allowing, and actually going with this time that I have for myself, what feels important? What do I want to do with my time?
mm, mm.
Do you try and like fill the time with other things like chores, grocery shopping? Yeah.
Yes, a lot of things. Like at the end of the day, when I think about it, I was like, oh my God, I could have done that. Why did I do that?
It's
Yeah,
just a
like
distraction.
it's unnecessary stuff. Then like, when I do like sit down, when I pause, and I was like, I could have done that. Why did I do that? Like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
Something
mm,
that might help, like obviously
mm,
there's inner work to do in terms of like worthiness, allowing your self-concept, which is in module 1,
mm,
to actually catch up with your reality
yeah.
because you're still living in the story of single mum,
Mm, yeah.
right? And you're like, there's this massive conflict in your identity.
Mm,
You're like, but I'm this person, but now I have all this time and I don't have to work full time and I have a loving partner who really cares for me and wants to support me. And I'm just like, I'm not really sure what to do with all of this.
mm,
So I'm just
mm,
going to be over here. I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to avoid any of it. And then I'm
mm,
going to loop and
mm,
just self-sabotage essentially.
mm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, not a bad thing. We just get to acknowledge what's actually here for us.
Mm,
So one thing that could help, if I could give you like a practical tip that you could take away, I genuinely believe, and this again comes from experience, the more time in terms of free time that we have, the more time we waste.
mm,
There can absolutely be some stuff there in terms of like we've already spoken about, the
mm,
self-sabotage and whatever, like absolutely. Like we all have our own version of that in some way, shape, or form for different reasons. But the more time that we have, the more time that we waste, particularly if we don't have a plan.
mm,
If we have no structure, no routine, no plan, we're just like, oh, freedom lifestyle, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And we waste so much time doing
mm,
nothing. And then when we actually do have time, we're so overwhelmed with all the different things that we could be doing that would be productive, that would move the needle. We know what those things are, but we
mm,
don't know the order of priority.
mm,
And there's too many things for our brain to go, these are all the things
mm,
that need to be done. Oh, that feels really hard. I'm not really sure where to start. So I'll go over here and I'll go and do the groceries instead because that needs to be done at some
mm,
point. And that's obviously way more important
Yep.
than
Yep.
me working on myself and my business.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
what's
Yeah.
happening here.
Yeah.
That's at least what I see. So
Mm,
something that could help is to actually create yourself a little bit of a structure, a little bit of a plan for
mm,
each day and actually put things in your calendar.
yep.
And I genuinely believe that having some form of structure makes you more productive. So you actually have way more free time.
Mm,
Because if you just go into every single day, like, let's just see what the day brings me, the day will bring
mm,
you anything.
yeah.
Probably bring you chaos, maybe like a little bit of drama, a bit of waste of time, maybe a little
Mm,
mini breakdown. Like it'll bring you all the things.
mm,
If you go into the day with intention of how you want to spend your time and you
mm,
actually put things in like drop off, pick up, you put certain chores that might need to be done or grocery shopping on one particular day a week or whatever it is, and then you put 2 hours of focused work time. And in that work time, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Because they're the 3 things that I know move the needle. That is the type of thing that you start to do as a CEO of your business. Because if you're a CEO, you wouldn't go into every single day with 0 plan of anything you were ever going to do. Everything goes into my calendar.
Okay.
And it also shows me where I have free time, what actually matters, and what absolutely has to get done that day. I prioritize those things, and then I go and live my life. So that means that I'm not always on my phone. I'm not doom scrolling. I'm not wasting time. I'm not getting to the end of the day feeling shit about myself because I didn't do anything that day. I'm not shaming myself for wasting time. Like all the things that I know we do ourselves. I'm not doing that because I actually prioritize the things that matter. I did the things that I said I was going to do, so I feel accomplished, and feeling accomplished is important to me in terms of a personal value. It's different for everyone, but I know for me, I like to achieve things. I like to feel like I'm moving forward. I like to feel a sense of accomplishment. An accomplishment could literally be like, I said I was going to create a carousel today and I did it. Like that to me is like, I did what I said I was going to do. I'm going to follow through on that. So something like that, creating some structure and actually using your calendar, I highly, highly, highly recommend for everyone.
Yep.
How does that sound? Do you have any questions about that?
No, yeah, it settles really well. Yes. So it's something that I'm using my calendar, but just not so much in it because I feel like I'm just winging the day because I have all these things now, but I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go wing it. But like you said, I feel like, oh, I have all this time and I'm just wasting it because I do not have a clear structure. Yeah.
So when the time comes up, we're like, oh, what should I do?
Yeah.
I'm not have, and you're like, and you do nothing instead.
Yeah.
It's just really overwhelming because there's lots of different things that you could do. Like, should I watch a replay? Should I this training that I saw? Should I jump into BU and do some of the modules? Should I reply to some DMs? Maybe I want to get an ad running, or maybe I should do some stories today. Or there was a real idea that I had last week. So I haven't done it. Like, right?
Yeah, all the gear, no idea.
You do have an idea, but you just need to have a plan so you can execute the idea.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So look at your calendar. That's my challenge for you this week. Create a schedule. You can even do it on a recurring basis. So for example, there's certain things I do every single week that are in my calendar that are set for the same day and the same time every single week. So I create like a little bit of a structure for myself because again, it feels good for me, and you won't know this until anybody tries this, if it actually works for you or not. But if what you're doing now isn't working, try something else, see if that works. And if it doesn't, then we'll just try something else until we find what works for you. But for me, I like having a level of expectation in terms of predictability of what I'm doing that day. So I wake up and I kind of just know, okay, on Mondays, I've got my BU calls at this time. I've got to upload the replay and do a couple of things once that's done. I'll typically do content. I'll do a couple of things. Like I kind of know what a Monday already looks like. And I also know how much free time I have if anything else comes up, or if I receive another inquiry from a potential client, I know where I can like slot them in or different things like that. So I feel a sense of accomplishment, and I'm also getting done what I said I was going to do because I'm following some kind of structure. I still leave room for myself to, for example, if it was like my friend said, do you want to go for a coffee date? Like I'm still going to go because this is what I want for myself in terms of how I want to live my life, given that I don't have any prior commitments. Like if I just had a morning to myself and I said I was going to like create some content that morning, I was going to film for BU or something, I would probably still go to coffee knowing that I have it's really good for me. It's good for your mental health. It's good to get out there. It's good to have connection, good to be with your friends, all the things. But also I know I have time later in the day to shift that from 9 a.m. to maybe 12 p.m. So that's how I always look at my day. And I leave space to like live my life because we're not robots. But the things that are predictable, I want you to put in your calendar.
Yep.
Create like a little bit of a structure to follow each day. something that could be recurring each week. And then anything extra in terms of the things that you actively want to do on your business. Like say, for example, maybe there's like one day a week where you watch an hour worth of trainings and do the workbooks. Put that in your calendar. Don't leave it up to chance, because we know what happens with chance. Anything could happen. And chances are you'll probably get distracted and choose something else.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah, that answers a lot of questions already.
Yeah, I would start there. See how you go. Like that's your homework for today, since you admitted that you have time. So I'll hold you now. I want you to go through and look at your week. Even what might help before you do that is go through and write a list of, could be on your phone or like maybe on a physical list, pen and paper, old school. Write down everything that you want to work on right now. It could be courses in BU, finishing a workbooks. It could be something in TWEC, like something to do like for your own personal development, like whatever it is. Maybe it's like 15 minutes of breath work or a 5-minute dance party or whatever. Like literally everything that feels good for you right now that you want to actively focus your intention on, I want you to write down, including time for yourself. And then I want you to look at, okay, where in my week can I prioritize these things that move the needle in my business?
Yeah.
And then I want you to actually go and put them in your calendar and just use this week as like your first week of like trial and just like see how it feels, see if it works, see if you've given yourself enough time. Maybe you haven't given the task enough time. And then next week, repeat it. Sound good?
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Sounds good.
Okay,
yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I want you all to have like freedom and flexibility and to just get offline and go and live your life. And I genuinely believe that when we have structure and we have some kind of routine, or at least like predictability, we move with way more intention. We waste way less time. We feel more accomplished and we just feel better about ourselves. So we can go and live our life. Because you did not start this business or any business to just be online 24/7, doom scrolling, wasting time, feeling shit about yourself. Like, it's not the vibe.
Right. My ego tells me I've got to go to work.
Amazing. Well, I hope this was really helpful. I'd love to hear back from both of you when you have done what we said we were going to do for each of you.
GPT.
Yeah. And anyone watching the replay, whatever you decide you're going to do for you, because I want everyone to sort of like have an idea of whatever you take from this conversation. And I trust that whatever you take is what is going to be meant for you. I want you to actually follow through with that, because we can like take these conversations and we can go, oh, this is interesting data. And then we go, see ya, and we do nothing with it.
Yeah.
I want you to actually go and take this with you when you're offline into your life, into your business, and actually learn and change and grow and evolve with everything that you have here. So this is just part of it. It's like whatever you take here, go and actually implement it into your life, into your business. And then just because we're in this space, obviously you won't do this forever, but come and share in the group chat what your intention is and when you follow through with that intention. So for example, for Moitu, I've deleted chat, I'm no longer in Canva, and this is what I'm going to do instead. And same thing for you, Kerry. And anyone watching the replay, whatever yours is for you, even if you're not sure and you want to like workshop it and you're like, I wasn't on the call, but I saw that you're able to help guide the women through what's actually here, pop it into the chat and I'll be able to help you. Because again, that is what that space is for. And if it's quiet, I'm just going to assume that you're absolutely killing it and you've got thousands of dollars in sales rolling in every single day. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Amazing. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing week, and I'll see you next week. But I'll see you in the chat.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.